Filmmakers Transformation Fund was launched recently jointly by the National Film and Video Foundation, or the NFVF, and the Independent Development Corporation, or IDC, to provide financial and other support for emerging filmmakers. Well, in the studio, we are joined in studio by Tumi Rabanye, who is the Head of Communications and Marketing for the NFVF, and Basil Ford, who is the Head of Media and Motion Pictures at the IDC. Good to have both of you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so tell us a little bit more about this funding. How's it going to work? Basil, do you want to take it?
Yeah, maybe just a little bit of background, so how it started. I think that's quite important to the whole story. So Zama Mkosi, who's the CEO of the National Film and Video Foundation, when she became CEO, she met with our CEO, Mr. Jeffrey Kena, and myself. And the discussion that took place at that point in time was, how can we help transform the sector and have more films made by black filmmakers? And our CEO at that time said to us, if we want to really transform this industry, we have to be bold and we have to be innovative. And then at that particular point in time, the National Film and Video Foundation team, which is made up of Clarence Hamilton and Tandeka, and the IDC team, which was headed by Trishana, got together, and we also met with people from the DTI. We met with Nedi, who's heads up the rebate section, and we also met with Msanganisi, who looks at the product development section. Yeah. So we all put our heads together, and we came up with what you see in front of you, which is the Emerging Black Filmmakers Transformation Fund. So how that really works, if I can just tell you a little bit about how that works now, is that essentially between the three institutions, we are fully financing films now for emerging black filmmakers.
Fantastic.
Now what that means is that emerging black filmmakers can make films for 5 million rand, which includes 500,000 of marketing spend, and they don't have to raise a cent.
Yeah.
Between the three institutions, we will be fully funding these films. Now, what we've programmed is that we're going to initially start with 6 films a year for a period of 3 years, but we have the potential to move it up to 10 films a year.
Okay.
Yeah. So annually, we will review and see how it works.
How it's going to work, how many you can use, and
that's it.
The amount that goes into it. Who should apply for funding? Obviously, you're aiming at your black filmmakers, that's what you're saying. Yeah. But who? Who are we looking at?
Well, we're specifically targeting filmmakers with less than 5 films under their belt, but they also have to come from a previously disadvantaged background, and they have to show commercial viability in terms of their film. So we not only look at it from a script perspective. Well, script is very, very important because that's the core of the product. But also from a marketing perspective, you have to look at relevance to audience. You have to look at ability to translate well in the distribution channel. So that's what we're looking at.
Most of it, if I may interrupt, I'm going to interrupt you. A lot of the problem that filmmakers say is that the funding's there, but to get it is one of the most impossible things because it's just so difficult to actually qualify for this funding. Is this going to make it easier? Yeah. Are these filmmakers now going to see that money so that they can actually put their art and trade into good work? Yeah.
If I may, just to go back, I think there was a very important point that I wanted to add in terms of who should apply. The fund is really targeted at black filmmakers, so black directors who partnered up with black producers, and between the black director and the black producer, they need to own at least 51% of the rights. That's very important. Now, in terms of what the fund is intended for and how it's supposed to work, what we're trying to do is we're trying to streamline entire processes. We're trying to make it very easy for filmmakers to apply. Now, essentially, this fund is also a system. So what happens is, a filmmaker, once they enter into the system, they get help in developing the script to make sure that it's ready. They get help in being mentored through the production process if required. But most important of all, up front, what we are going to try and do, we are going to take a pilot film. And with that pilot film, we are going to develop the detailed criteria. We're also going to develop the legal system around the film. And also with that legal system, we're going to develop legal templates for all the legal agreements that are required to make a film. So what happens is, when a filmmaker comes in, they plug into the system. All the templates are there, the legal systems are there, everything is almost ready for almost like a plug-and-play type of solution. Yeah. So it makes it a lot easier for a filmmaker to get in. It makes it a lot easier for the filmmaker to concentrate on making their film.
Absolutely.
Because previously what we used to find was that filmmakers used to run around trying to get the financing together, then after that trying to figure out how to do the legals, and then after that make sure that everything's ready.
Yeah, so this is a one-stop shop, in other words, is what you're saying, that you really are trying to streamline the whole process just so that they can actually concentrate on making these films, which is what we need. But how is this initiative going to strengthen our film industry? I mean, are we going to see South Africa's film industry going from the level it's at to even higher now with an initiative like this?
Well, I think I want to take from the point Basil was making just now. Taking a multidisciplinary approach addresses a very important gap. As Basil has indicated, what happens currently, the greatest barrier to entry firstly is the financing.
Yeah.
The next level of obstacles will be operationalizing the filmmaking process, and you find that film producers and film directors have to play so many other roles that are not their core function. So in that way, I think it's going to streamlining the process is going to make it easier and allow the filmmakers to produce to focus on the quality of the product. I think also it's going to allow us to access the distribution value chain a lot better and monetize, I think, the process and the film a lot more in the long run.
Yeah. What about skills?
Yeah.
Where do you guys assist in skills? I know we're talking just funding, but, you know, the skills, the training, there's so much that goes into this film industry.
Leanne, I think the question that you raised earlier, and I just want to go back to that question before we come back to this one. If you don't mind, just please indulge me. I think it's very important because, you know, what this project or what this fund will do for the film industry, it's very important because at this point in time, we have a lot of black filmmakers, but not many of them have made films.
Yeah.
So the whole idea of the fund is that we develop the pool of black filmmakers, but not only that, we start to make local stories for local consumption. So we start telling South African stories for South Africans.
Yeah.
And this system that I was talking about earlier, where we do the quality control and we help and we mentor and we're hoping that that system will create films that are good enough to travel. And not just travel through Africa and the diaspora, but to travel the world.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that by doing that, what we will create, not only very good black filmmakers, but we'll create a star system. We'll take what the SABC has been doing with generations and things like that, the stars that the SABC has been creating.
Yeah.
We're now hoping that through the system, we'll take those stars and we'll move them to a different level.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And when we take them through that level with these films, we're hoping that all the people that we're developing will then get pushed into the next level. And the next level will be when foreign films come and shoot here, they'll use more of our local stars, more of our local directors, filmmakers, etc., etc. And using that mechanism, we then push them onto the global stage.
Yeah, and boosting a massive industry. I mean, we were chatting to a stunt lady in the previous hour here on Morning Live, and it was just so nice hearing what she's doing, you know, playing doubles for Drew Barrymore, Claire Danes, because of Homeland that's being filmed here, the new Charlize Theron movie that's being filmed in, I think somewhere like in Uppington, it's being filmed. I mean, you know, this is the reality of what's happening here. So we need to train, we need to skill. We haven't even spoken about the skills, but I want you to incorporate this into your answer. Now, don't go away from me. Let's talk skills, but let's not marginalize white people. Let's bring white people into this now. Are we going to incorporate them into this for the skills transfer, to take these black upcoming directors, these filmmakers, and everything you're talking about, but still interspersed with that also assist with producers and skilled white directors and producers and work it together? How is that going to work? Is that also part and parcel of the deal?
Yeah. The only restriction we've placed on it is that we want black filmmakers, the producer and the director, to earn at least 51. That means that it does not exclude the skilled people.
So it's 51%. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I think
now, what's also very important is that we've always taken the view between the National Film and Video Foundation, the DTI, and ourselves that only together, if we collaborate, only together can we move this industry forward onto a sustainable platform. So we have to work together. We can't ignore the skills that have been built up, the skills that exist, and the plan is to incorporate all of that and to use all of that to the advantage of making this fund work.
Excellent. Tumi, you want to add something?
So I just wanted to say on the skilling side, I think that talks to the core function of the NFVF. So what we currently have would be the CDBA training program, for example, that will take you through script writing development. It will take you through research. Some of these things we showcased at the Durban International Film Festival last week. So it is really, again, about pooling together our resources, the current existent skills, and giving access, I think, to potential filmmakers that have historically been marginalized.
How much is in the fund? How much is in the pool?
We've allowed for 6 films per year for 3 years as a minimum, and each film will be 5 million. 5 million. Yeah, but we can extend that to 10 films a year for 3 years. At the same budget level.
At the same value. Yeah. Well, it's a great thing. I think it's a fantastic thing for anybody watching. I mean, one of the questions my director's asking as well is talking in terms of the quality of movies, that you're finding that people are trying to do movies on the cheap because the funding is not there. I imagine this will also assist in that quality of film that we're going to see coming out of the country. If you have the money, the quality will be better.
I think, the content that was showcased, for example, at the Durban International Film Festival last week was incredible. One of the things that you'll observe, I think, where the money is so limited, where the resources are so limited, is that South African filmmakers really go the extra mile in terms of developing and producing quality film product that can go out to international markets. I think what we're trying to achieve here is the volume of quality films that can be produced. So certainly, one of the other things I think that we indicated is right for the amount of money that is currently available. So the threshold is 5 million. So right within those parameters, and allow us then to help and mentor and develop you. And I think by providing a streamlined process, you'll find that the cost of actually getting the product out to market is just a lot better. It's a more tightly managed process.
I think it's a great idea. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for explaining it, and we wish you the best going forward. I hope to see one of those products of this very, very shortly. Basil Ford, Head of Media and Motion Pictures at the IDC, and also joining us here on the program was Tumi Rabanye, who is the Head of Communications and Marketing with the NFVF. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Let's
very
take
much.
a break. When we return, we'll have a conversation with Donald, and he'll also play for us. Stay tuned.